Hello my beautiful friends and welcome back. So today I just wanted to sit down and have a super honest, transparent, raw chat with you guys about what's been going on with me and where I've been at, because quite frankly I have not been doing very well as a whole for the most part mentally, and there are a bunch of reasons for that. So I thought I would break down to you guys what's been going on and where I'm currently at with it. If you've been with me for a while, a lot of you guys will know that I have struggled with my mental health for a very long time, since the age of 14, and I'm now 24, so for the last 10 years I have really struggled with my mental health. I fall into very bad depressive episodes that can last from days to weeks to months, and it has been ongoing for the last 10 years. And as a lot of you guys know, at the end of 2020 I decided that I was going to start intensive therapy after trying about 7 other therapists from the age of 15 to about 22, not really getting very far. And then I was offered DBT, which is dialectical behaviour therapy, and this therapy was going to be a year-long program. So it was going to be 2 sessions a week, an individual session and a group session, and it sounded right up my street, everything I needed, what I'd been looking for so long, you know, skills to help me cope, and just a lot of things that I was going to learn along the way, which I did. So I started this year-long therapy program in December 2020. The therapist that was assigned to me for my individual sessions was the best fit of a therapist I had ever found. She was everything I had ever been looking for and so much more. She was so compassionate, kind, understanding, and I just really clicked with her and had a real bond with her, and she helped me immensely. She helped me so much. And you know, obviously throughout our sessions a lot of other things were coming up that had happened throughout my life, and you know, she said that I need trauma therapy, that there's like a couple of other therapies that I could really do with doing, and that she would love to continue to see me after the year of DBT and do other therapies with me, which I was so delighted with. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe I found a therapist who's perfect for me, and now I get to stay with her for years to come, and I know this is going to be of a huge benefit to me. The year of DBT was over and she continued to do another 6 months of DBT with me, just to like really get it in there. But one day, as I went in for my session, she sat me down and she said, I have something to tell you. And she says that she was leaving, she had gotten a new job, she was moving across the country, so our sessions would soon be coming to an end. And it was the week after I lost Lady, my little beautiful angel who sits on the fireplace now. So as you can imagine, I did not digest this news well at all. I did not take this well. This was something that was really difficult for me to process and accept and come to terms with. I think my last session was in the end of April, just gone. So about 3 months ago I had my last session where I was distraught. You know, doing therapy for a year and a half meant that I had somebody holding me accountable for things. With DBT you have to fill in like a weekly diary card with like, you know, each emotion, and you kind of have to bring that to your therapist, you talk through it. So there's a real structure in place there, you know, and I had gotten into a really good habit of taking care of myself and just doing all the things I needed to do to help myself mentally and to go down the path that I want to be on. So throughout that year and a half I'd really gotten on top of my game with regards sleeping, nutrition, moving my body. Mindfulness was a huge part of my therapy program, and once you left I really struggled to adjust, and I let all my habits fall to the side and all my old bad habits creep back in and suck me into their little hole. And that is the hole that I have been in ever since. So for about the last 3 months, so between Lady dying and my therapist leaving, everything just went out the bloody window. I was just like, here. So about 3 months ago, my mental health took a serious dip downwards, and ever since I have been craving nothing but stability and routine. I can really struggle to hold myself accountable when I'm feeling low, but I've realised that it's not self-motivation I need, it's self-discipline. So I've decided that I so desperately need to break up with my old self, and that starts today, right here, right now. No, that's a lie, it actually started a week ago, but right here, right now, okay? And let me break down to you where I have been at for the last 3 months. So first things first is sleep. So sleep is something that I've struggled with for the last 10 years. When I was a young teenager, I was actually diagnosed with insomnia because there was a period of time for a couple of years where I wouldn't be able to sleep until like 7 a.m. I'd be up all night, and I wouldn't then wake up until the early mornings of the afternoon. But to this day, I'm still a night owl, and when I am in a mentally dark place and I am not doing well mentally, I want to stay up later at night, because they're the only hours of the day where nothing is expected of you and no one expects that of you, and it's so peaceful and it's so calm and it's so quiet. But obviously, you know, I'm now an adult and I have bills to pay and I need to take care of my goddamn self. So, you know, if I stay up until 3-4 a.m, I'm still going to have to get up at 9 a.m. the next morning, because I've got things to do. I can't be sleeping in until 2 p.m. like I once did as a young teenager. So these past 3 months, my sleep has been an absolute mess. I've been going to bed at all hours of the morning, and then I'm waking up feeling exhausted, lacking energy. I'm extremely unmotivated, just down in myself in general. It's a never-ending cycle. Activity is another area that I've seriously neglected. As a lot of you guys know, exercise is something that I'm extremely passionate about. I dabbled in it as a young teenager for the wrong reasons, but it wasn't until I was in my late teens that I discovered just how beneficial exercise can be for your mental well-being, and that was when I started exercising solely for the benefits that it brought me. Exercise is genuinely the best antidepressant I have discovered. I have been on every family of antidepressants that there are since the age of 15, and exercise is the one thing that I have found that helps me the most. So from my late teens up until the pandemic hit in 2020, I was in a consistent routine of weightlifting and walking, and I could really see the benefits in my brain. But of course, like a lot of people, when the pandemic rolled around, a lot of my habits went out the window because we were confined to being locked indoors. We could only go for a walk 5 kilometers from our house, and we were extremely limited. Ever since the lockdowns ended for good last year, I have tried countless times to get myself back into a consistent routine of exercise, but ultimately every time I fail, whether that lasts a number of months or whether that lasts a number of weeks, I'm ultimately finding myself back in the place that I've been in for the last 3 months, where I am seriously neglecting it and not prioritizing it in the slightest. Constantly making excuses like I don't have time, or I'm too tired from lack of sleep, not prioritizing your sleep. And you don't have time because, again, you're not prioritizing the things that are goddamn important, Jessica, and the things that are going to help you, benefit you, and make your day-to-day in your life a lot goddamn easier, because these are things that are in my control. As a lot of you guys also know, horse riding was actually something that I started last November, and it has been the best thing I've done in my adult life. I was going every single week when I started in November, up until we moved into this house in June, and I then missed 7 weeks consistently of horse riding, nearly 2 whole months of horse riding, because every week when Friday would roll around, there would be something that would have come up, you know, and again, excuses, I don't have time, oh, this thing has come up, I'm gonna have to leave it till next week. Have you ever heard a bigger load of crap in your life? Like an hour a week. There is no excuses. Nothing should get in the way of that. As I've mentioned before, when I'm struggling mentally, I lose my appetite. It's something I've struggled with since I was a child. Add that on top of lack of sleep and not moving my body enough, it's a recipe for absolute disaster. I've been totally ignoring my body and not listening to it like I once was, and I found since moving in here, I found myself most days going for the easy option, meal that doesn't take much effort, and meals that are mostly processed, instant noodles, you know, processed frozen chicken goujons. Like, what the hell is that going to do for my brain? Absolutely nothing. If you're putting petrol in a diesel car, it's not going to run very well, and that's the same with our bodies. If we're not giving our bodies the nutrition it needs, of course it's going to manifest in other ways, aka bad mental health. As I mentioned earlier, I spent 1.5 years practicing mindfulness and incorporating it into my day-to-day life, and I seriously reaped the benefits. It helped me become so much more present, become so much more grounded, and my brain was just so much clearer. I was way less stressed, and I was just able to cope so much better on the day-to-day, doing a little 5-10 minute mindfulness practice in the morning, in the evening. And these last 3 months, I have not done one mindfulness practice. What the hell? I spent weeks tuning this over in my head and trying to work out how am I going to do this, and I was getting extremely overwhelmed because there were so many areas I needed to work on and so many things that I needed to change, and I just didn't know where to begin. And this is where I would like to thank Fitbit for giving me that little kick I needed to start taking care of myself and holding me accountable. When Fitbit reached out to me, I literally screamed, I'm not joking, with excitement, because it literally felt like a sign from the universe. This is just what I needed to start holding myself accountable like my therapist was. It's like having a little buddy on my wrist spurring me on. I was so excited, so much so that I have entered into a long-term partnership with Fitbit to bring you guys on this journey with me, because it is going to be a journey, and this is where I want to go through with you guys what I have started a week and a half ago and what I'm going to be doing going forward. So with the Fitbit, it of course tracks everything through the little watch, and then you connect it up to your app, and that's where you can get extremely detailed information about each of the areas. So first of all, let's talk about sleep. As I was saying, was staying up till insane hours and getting such little sleep. So I've decided I have to have a set bedtime. No more staying awake till 2, 3, 4 a.m. 12:30 has to be my cut off, because as I said, look, I'm still a night owl. I'm always going to be a night owl. I'm not going to deprive myself of my favourite time of the day. I'm not going to do that. You know, I don't need to do that. Sleep hygiene is something that's so important. It's something that I learned about in therapy. So like, no scrolling before bed, having a set wind down routine. So like for me, having a shower, doing my skincare, watching maybe a little bit of a show, but you know, not sitting there scrolling on my phone, putting lavender on my pillow, making the room a calming, nice, relaxing place to be. If you have good sleep hygiene, it gives you the best chance at getting a good night's sleep. My aim is to be aiming for 8 hours of sleep, because for the last 3 months, I've probably been getting 5 hours at best. What I absolutely love about the Fitbit so much is how it gives you a sleep score every day. And this is so motivating to help you get a good night's sleep, to help you get in bed at that time and, you know, get your 7-8 hours of sleep, because you know that you're going to see this in the morning, and data does not lie. That data ain't lying, darling. So like last night, I got 7 hours and 41 minutes of sleep. I got a fair sleep score, 76. But yesterday, my sleep score was 85, which was good. And I felt so much better in myself having gotten, you know, my 8 hours of sleep and a high sleep score. I'm somebody who works really well seeing information. That's why I've always worked off to-do lists. If I don't do a to-do list, I am not getting that done. I need to be able to see information and kind of process it in my brain, and it's what really motivates me and inspires me and gives me that push to keep going. So having this data in front of me, when it gets to 12, I'm like, right, I have to go to bed, because I am not dealing with a bad sleep score tomorrow, because I know the effects it's going to have on my body. So the way that it so easily is translating to me, you know, through the app, is incredible. So when it comes to activity, my main goal with this is to get back into weightlifting 3 to 4 times a week, and then go to my horse riding on a Friday. So about 4 or 5 sessions a week of weightlifting / horse riding. I've already started my weightlifting. I've already started back at horse riding. So we are on the right path. We are trucking on. I've decided that I have to book my horse riding at the start of the week on a Monday. And if anything comes up, I have to work around my horse riding. As I said, of course, unless it's an emergency. I know from past experience how much being active improves my mood and my productivity on a day-to-day basis. And it's something that has seriously been lacking these last 3 months since I've fallen out of routine. I find the daily readiness score on the Fitbit incredible and so motivating. So it basically tells you when your body is ready for exercise and what kind of exercise your body is ready for. So that alone makes you feel capable, tells you your body is capable. No excuses. Like, it's so motivating. Like the other day, you know, I woke up and I wasn't feeling great because I had been really active. Like my body was just sore and tired. And my readiness score for the day was 27, so it was low readiness, and it said, nice, you recently went above and beyond with activity. Now your body might need rest. For active recovery, try light walks, stretches, or yoga. So it really communicates in such an easy black and white way what's going on in your body, and then you can best work with your body instead of working against it. Instead of getting up and being like, oh, I really need to do another workout today, don't I? Pushing yourself beyond your limits. You know, we shouldn't push our body that far. So having this, it just helps you be on your body's side, because a lot of us work against our bodies, you know. I also want to keep my step count up, and I find it really motivating because obviously I work from home. So on a day-to-day basis, I can do a lot less walking than somebody who works out of the house, obviously. So if I get to the evening and I see my steps are at 4,000 or 5,000, it will give me that little push to get out for a walk and, you know, get up to 8,000 or 9,000. By seeing that, I know if I get out for a little walk, when I go to bed, I'm going to feel so much better, even if I haven't done weightlifting or horse riding or any other movement that day. You're able to track all your activity in the app, so whatever movement you are doing, and I find that really great to be able to, you know, at the end of a week, look back and see kind of an overview of where you were that week and what you kind of got done, and it really gives you that fulfillment. Like, I do feel so fulfilled going to bed. Like, it's helped me really celebrate the small wins, which I found a lot harder to celebrate when I wasn't physically able to see it. Like, even when I get up and if I've had 8 hours of sleep, before my day begins, I already feel better. I'm like, I have worked with my body and I've given my body the rest it needs. I've given my body the activity it needs. It's just really given me the push that I have so desperately been yearning for since my therapist left. So when it comes to nutrition, my goal is to have 3 balanced good meals a day, and to make a weekly food plan at the start of the week, and, you know, have a layout of what I'm having for breakfast, lunches and dinners. So, you know, it cuts out you going to the press and being like, oh, I'll just have this because it's quick. If you have a plan and you have bought in the ingredients needed to have them meals, it makes your life so much easier, and you're more likely gonna go for the more balanced option if it's accessible and it's there. I really want to get back to having like an 80-20 balance going on. I do not want to restrict any food from my life. I love food, love sweets, love chocolate, love crisps. I just need more fresh, nutritious food in my life. That's what I need to incorporate. So buying more fresh food and spending more time preparing the meals. You're also able to track your food on the app when you're, you know, filling in your little information and you see that you're probably in pretty shit food. It doesn't make you feel great. But if you're putting in your breakfast and you're like, I had porridge with strawberries and peanut butter, you know, you're like, I'm giving my body some good nutrition there, you know, it's getting variety, it's getting balance, and I feel so much better in myself if I eat something like porridge than going and having a slice of toast with Nutella on it for my breakfast. That is not going to give me the fuel I need to start my goddamn day. It's just going to make me crash. And then, of course, mindfulness. I was genuinely in awe, and I could not believe it, that the app has a bunch of built-in mindfulness practices. I think this is with the premium subscription, but it is absolutely insane how accessible they are. So you just go onto your app, and you go to the little mindfulness category, and you have so many options to choose from. You have like 2-minute ones, 5-minute ones, 10-minute ones, 15-minute ones. You've got sleep ones that are like nearly an hour long. There are such a variation of mindfulness practices, whatever you need. And my aim has been to do at least minimum 1 a day, whether that's first thing in the morning when I wake up, or it's while I'm waiting for my dinner to cook, or it's last thing before I go to bed. Depending on when I need it, you know, if I wake up and I'm not feeling great, I will do a mindfulness practice. And it's actually insane because obviously the Fitbit monitors your heart rate as well. And one of the mindfulness practices I did the other day, I woke up, I was feeling very overwhelmed and stressed. I had a lot to do that day. So I just said, look, I'm putting on a mindfulness practice. I think it was only 5 minutes long, and my heart rate dropped. So it just shows the effect that it had on my body. And like, again, being able to see that data translated is so beneficial and really helps you get you on the path that you want to be on. Like, when I saw that my heart rate dropped, I was like, wow, this makes so much sense as to how much of a positive effect this mindfulness had on my life last year. I need to pull my brain back into the present moment, because I have a habit and a tendency of living in the past or living in the future, and Fitbit has made that so easy for me to incorporate into my day-to-day life. It's really inspired me to, as the campaign says, listen to my body and feel my power. It has made me realise just how capable I am, but that I just need a little helping hand, and that helping hand is this Fitbit, like having a little buddy spurring me on constantly on my wrist. It's really helped me challenge myself on a day-to-day basis and push myself and realise the inner strength that I do have. Being able to see my data on a day-to-day basis has seriously given me the kick I needed, and it's given me that self-discipline that I needed, that I was just really struggling with solely on my own. I have had heard so many positive stories about Fitbits and smartwatches, but I never realised just how beneficial they were for helping to keep you on track. If you have never thought about a Fitbit, I honestly couldn't recommend them enough. Like, we all deserve to lead more happier, healthier, active lives. But as you know, the world we live in makes that extremely difficult with all the never-ending distractions that we have around us. But having the little Fitbit on you, with you at all times, is extremely motivating. I just feel like it's given me a new lease of life and a new sense of purpose that I really badly needed in a very dark mental health space. Even if there is a day where, you know, I'm not feeling the best, having this, because I had one the other day, you know, having this and just having that to focus on, even if I don't get anything else done in the day, being like, okay, you need to today make sure you get 3 good meals into you, you know, get your body moving, make sure you get your sleep, do a mindfulness practice. And, you know, if you need the day to yourself and you're having a bad mental health day, take it, but make sure you're taking care of yourself as well. And you're giving yourself a better chance at tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? And it's just that little bit of sense of purpose when I'm not feeling good, even on harder days, has been so helpful, because it's just giving you a sense of direction. And that's what I seriously lack when I'm in a really dark headspace. But even in the last week and a half alone, I've felt so much more in control, and I had felt very out of control for the last couple of months, and this has helped me feel so much more in control, because by working with my body, it has given me that sense of capability. And a lot of the time when you're in a dark place, that is just the biggest thing. You do not feel capable. You don't feel capable of even peeling yourself out of the bed and going for a shower. You know what I mean? And what happens if we go through a period where, you know, we do neglect things is we lose trust in ourselves. And there's nothing worse than no longer trusting yourself. And in this last week and a half alone, I have built up so much trust in myself, because I can see that every day I am taking steps in the right direction that are going to benefit me and future me and get me to the place that I want to be. So I'll leave a little link down below if you want to go and check Fitbit out. I'd love to know down below where you currently are on your journey, if you've ever tried a smartwatch or a Fitbit and how you found it, and if there are any steps that you want to start taking moving forward to start working with your body instead of against it, because I feel like it's a habit so many of us fall into. But it is currently a beautiful day here. The sun is splitting, so I am going to wrap it up here. I'm going to get myself out and go for a walk, breathe in the fresh air, get out with nature, the birds, the bees, the flowers. But thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all so very much, and I can't wait to see you all in my next video.